It's Imam Boy the Streaking here once again with probably my shortest intro ever.
I gotta see this, man.
The message is shh.
Keep quiet. Let book enter your head.
Don't forget the memo. Laugh and learn.
Mongo Park discovered Nigeria for 1940.
It's false.
Who created God?
A certain man.
What's his name?
A certain man called SFL.
Who?
SFL. SFL was some spirit. He was great.
That was a lot.
And he chose to create an image like God.
Why you always lying?
Where did that occur?
1643.
Yeah! In what country?
In
Look at this.
part of Asia. Mohung in Asia.
What kind of nonsense is this?
Who is God's father?
Godfather. Godfather is a certain man called Ibrahim Isafel.
I'm sorry, what?
Ibrahim Isafel.
And who is God's mother?
God's mother. A certain lady called Ezekiel.
Huh?
Ezekiel Amdi.
What?
Ezekiel Amdi.
Does God have siblings?
God have only two siblings. Two siblings.
What are their names?
A certain name like
Look at this.
one called Stubborn Boy and other two Ruffian.
On what day was God born?
Early day, it was 1st January 1642.
Hey! God, why now?
Who created God?
No one.
Are you sure?
God came as a spirit.
Okay.
Who gave birth to him then?
Oh, it's Mary and Joseph.
He gave birth to God.
Yeah.
Where?
Bethlehem.
What?
Bethlehem.
On what date was God giving birth to?
26 December. That was the 18th day.
How many siblings does God have?
Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
12.
Say what?
Yeah, 12.
Can you mention some of them for me?
Simon Petro. Judas.
Who created God?
Prophet Elisha.
Who?
Prophet Elisha.
Who gave birth to God?
Mary and Joseph.
What?
Mary and Joseph.
Where was God giving birth to?
Bethlehem.
In what year was God born?
21st century. 21st century.
Jesus Christ.
In what year was God created?
22nd century.
I'm sorry, what?
22nd century.
I swear to God, you will be hospitalized.
How many siblings does God have?
22.
What?
22.
God will judge you.
Who created God?
Adam and Eve.
What?
Adam and Eve.
Where did they create God?
North Africa.
What?
North Africa.
North Africa is in what continent?
Benin.
Are you sure?
Yes.
On what date was God born by Adam and Eve?
19,500.
Is it AD or BC?
AD.
There is God.
Who is God's brother?
Abraham.
Who?
Abraham.
And how many siblings did he have?
3,000. 3,000.
Give me examples of his brothers and sisters.
It's about to go down.
Temkurang. Kwaku yabuga. Kwaminto. Kwabata.
Who created God?
Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit. Holy.
In what year was God created?
1,000 years ago.
Where?
In heaven.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How many siblings does God have?
2.
God has 2 siblings.
Yeah.
Who created God?
Oh, the God there. Moses created the God.
Moses.
Moses. Yeah.
Come on, that's nonsense. That's nonsense.
When was God created?
1 June 1984.
Echo. Repeat it.
1 June 1984.
God will judge you.
God's mother.
Godmother is Mali.
What?
Godmother is Mali.
And who's God's father?
Joseph.
I'm coming. Let me enter the house. I'm coming.
Where was God born?
Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast.
Brazil.
Who created God?
Demon.
I'm sorry, what?
Demon.
I'm going to beat out the demon inside him.
What's the name of the demon?
Satan.
Who?
Satan.
When I'm through with you. Oh, when I'm through with you. Oh my God.
And where was God created?
Paradise.
In what century?
Century. 1920.
So it.
1920.
Jesus Christ.
Who gave birth to God?
Mary.
I am finished.
What's the name of God's father?
Joseph.
I'm coming. Let me enter the house. I'm coming.
How many siblings does God have?
Like more than 3,000.
God will judge you.
Can you name some of them for me?
It's about to go down.
Peter. Paul. Zacchaeus.
Who created God?
Jesus. Jesus.
Jesus is Lord.
And where was God born? Heaven.
No, I disagree with you.
In what year was God born?
90 years.
19 years.
Hey!
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No.
Who created God?
Samson.
Who?
Samson.
What's wrong with you?
Where was God born?
Kenya.
What?
Kenya.
In what year was God born?
1721.
What?
1721.
Jesus Christ.
What is the name of God's mother?
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Equia.
Pierre. Who created God?
Satan.
What did you say?
Satan.
In what year did Satan create God?
1852.
Where was God created?
Bethlehem.
What?
Bethlehem.
So is God a man or a woman?
God, is a man.
Who are God's parents?
Look at this. It will be Satan.
Satan gave birth to God.
Let me shoot him.
Shoot him. What is the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament?
Old Testament black.
What?
Old Testament black.
Yeah!
This government white. This government white.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Is it from our village?
God forbid.
Who wrote the Old Testament?
John.
Who wrote the New Testament?
Mercy.
What is the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament?
The Old Testament is wrote by
This grammar now, wow.
Abraham. And the New Testament is wrote by Jesus Christ.
Which people use the Old Testament?
Muslim.
What?
Muslim.
If I hear one more word from you, I swear to God,
I go from corner and slap another tears into the eye.
Which people use the New Testament?
Christians.
and now your head correct.
So which one do you use?
Me Christian. The New Testament.
Dramatic sound effect. Thank you. What is the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament?
The New Testament is the Constitution. The New Testament is the Constitution. And the Old Testament is the constituency.
I'm sorry, what?
And the Old Testament is the constituency.
Who wrote the Old Testament?
Moses.
Who wrote the New Testament?
Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln.
Jesus is Lord.
What is the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament?
The Old Testament is used by the men, and the New Testament is used by the woman.
So who wrote the Old Testament?
Jesus.
And who wrote the New Testament?
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Mary.
What is the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament?
And the Old Testament, is written in Greek, and the New Testament is written in Arabic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So who wrote the Old Testament?
The Old Testament was written by Imam Salifu.
What's wrong with you?
And the New Testament?
Was Jupiter.
Is it from our village?
Yes, I.
Oh, how?
Jupiter wrote the
Testament.
Jesus.
Jupiter, where is it from?
It was part of that family who call the siblings of that god. You see, they are image, so they are part of that.
What is the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament?
Old Testament is if somebody do you bad, you do them.
Oh, really?
So New Testament, if somebody do bad, so this one forgive.
And who wrote the Old Testament?
Moses.
I'm coming. Let me enter the house. I'm coming.
Who wrote the New Testament?
Jesus.
What is the difference between Old Testament and New Testament?
Old Testament is the old one with the Paul. Old Testament is the old one with the Paul.
I never spelled it.
Jacob.
The New Testament?
With the Isaac.
What is the difference between the New Testament and the Old Testament?
Okay, the New Testament, like in the olden days. Okay, let me take the Old Testament first. The Old Testament, at the olden days, when somebody commits, they used to sacrifice a goat or any animal for that person.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, but in the New Testament, God said He will sacrifice Himself for us.
Okay.
So that's why He came to die for us.
Very good.
So in the New Testament, when somebody commits, you will not kill any animal for sacrifice. No.
Oh my God! Wow!
Yes?
Yes, I.
When was the New Testament written?
Okay. That was the 90s.
Who wrote the New Testament?
New Testament. Moses.
Huh?
Moses.
I swear to God, you will be hospitalized.
Who wrote the Old Testament?
Okay, Abraham.
Alright, what about a female rat?
Female rat is called ratty girl.
I'm sorry, what?
Ratty girl.
And the boy is what?
Ratty boy. Ratty boy.